Hello, welcome to Good English. I saw an elephant. I saw a black elephant. I saw the elephant you were talking about. I saw elephants everywhere. In the first sentence, I used an before the noun elephant. In the second sentence, I used a. In the third, the. And in the fourth sentence, I used none of them. So, in order to understand why the difference in usage, we have to learn all about articles. So, today's lesson is all about articles. So, let's get right into it. Articles are used before nouns and they tell if a noun is specific or not specific. There are two types of articles, definite and indefinite articles. Definite article is the word the. We use the when we have to talk about a particular thing, when we want to be very specific or definite. For example, I want the book which is blue. So when I say I want the book which is blue, I mean to say I want a particular book which is blue in color. I don't want any book, but I want a specific book which is blue. So when we want to be very specific or definite, we have to use the article the. Indefinite articles are a and an, and they used to refer to non-specific or non-particular nouns. So when we talk about something in general, when we are not being specific or when we are not being definite, we have to use the indefinite articles a or an. It can be a bit challenging to know where to use a and where to use an, but the rule is simple. Articles come before a noun, right? So it all depends on that particular noun. It depends on the sound the first letter of the noun gives. Don't go by the letter, go by the sound. That is how we say it, how it sounds. It's as simple as that. So if it's giving a consonant sound, use a, and if it's giving a vowel sound, use an. Let's see. The vowels are the letters A, E, I, O, U. So if A, E, I, O, U are vowels, all the rest are consonants. Remember that we're not going by the letters, but we're going by the sound these letters give. Let's learn this better by looking into examples. A boy. The first letter of the noun, the letter B, is a consonant, and the sound the word begins with is B. So letter B, B. So in this case, whether you go by the letter or whether you go by the sound, by default, it falls under the category consonants. But never go by the letter, always go by the sound, because in certain other cases, if you go by the letter, you could go wrong. So in this case, the sound B falls under the category consonants, and therefore you have to use the article a. So, a boy. Another example, a European. The first letter is E, but remember, we are not going by the letter, but we are going by the sound. And the sound it gives is U, a European, U. And U is a consonant, so we have to use a European. If you had gone by the letter E, E is a vowel, and you would have used an European, which is wrong. So always go by the sound and not by the letter. A one-eyed man. The letter here is O, but the sound it gives is not O, but W. One-eyed man, W. And W is from the letter W, which is a consonant. So, a one-eyed man. An hour. Here we all know H is silent and the pronunciation is hour. And the sound it begins with is R, coming from the letter A, and A is a vowel, so we have to use an. So, an hour. An X-ray. It begins with the letter X, which is a consonant, but remember, we don't go by the letter, but we go by the sound. The choice between A or an is solely dependent on the pronunciation regardless of the spelling. So here it's pronounced as X-ray. It begins with the sound which comes from the letter E, which is a vowel. So is a vowel sound, and therefore we have to use an. So an X-ray. A member of parliament, an MP. Why the difference in usage? The difference is the way in which it sounds. Member begins with M sound, which is a consonant sound from the letter M. So we have to use a member of parliament. MP doesn't begin with M sound, but it begins with a. MP, a sound from the letter E. So it's a vowel sound, and we have to use an. So an MP. Let's say some random examples. A 1 rupee note, an honest man, a one-way, an umbrella, a university, an 18-year-old girl, a union. Take a look at these two sentences. Suppose I'm a doctor, I would say, a patient came to my clinic. The patient complained of constant headaches. In the first sentence, I used a patient, and the second sentence, I switched to the patient. Why the difference? I'll tell you. I used a patient in the first sentence because I don't know the patient. I've never met him before. This is the first time I'm seeing him. He is just one among the many patients sitting there. So I said a patient came to my clinic. But once I get to know him, he is no longer just any patient, but he is a patient sitting right in front of me. I know him and he has a specific identity. So I used the. So in short, a or an is used before nouns, that is general, or where the identity is not known. And once you get to know the noun, it becomes specific, and so use the. Now let's talk about repetition of the article. Sometimes we repeat the article, sometimes we don't. I'll give you two sentences. I have a black and white dog. I have a black and a white dog. In the first sentence, I use the article just once. I have a black and white dog. It means that I just have one dog which is black and white in color. In the second sentence, I said a black and a white dog. So it means I have two dogs. One is black and the other one is white. One more example. The poet and novelist has come. The poet and the novelist have come. So in the first sentence, it's just one person and he is both a poet and a novelist. In the second sentence, we are talking about two people. One is a poet and one is a novelist. Zero article. What do we mean by that? There are occasions where we need not use any article before nouns. Where are they? No article is used with proper nouns. For example, names of people. Tom is a good boy. We don't use any article before Tom. No article is used before plural countable nouns. For example, I bought new pens and pencils. Cats have big eyes. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the class and I'll see you soon.